Take this video and remember that at the 46-minute and 15-second mark, a finance PhD, Dr. Boyce Watkins, is going to give you the simple formula to turning yourself into an economic guide. This works. I promise you. This is based on research. So sturdy, it's this. I'm going to go through it very, very quickly so that you can write it down if you have a pen. The S stands for systems. People who think in terms of systems do better than people who simply exchange time for money. A person exchanges time for money, says if I work 20 hours and I make $50 an hour, I can make $1,000. A person who thinks in terms of systems will say something like, if I sell 50 units and I sell the units for $20 a unit, I can make $1,000 and it may not take me any time at all. Time is not even a factor in that equation. That is a level up. That is a heightened level of economic consciousness. They have risen to another dimension. They've moved to a dimension where time no longer matters. Do you understand? This is financial consciousness. That's how Elon Musk makes $20 million a day. The T stands for technology. Technology allows you to scale. Technology also takes you to another dimension where time and space no longer matter. So a person who understands technology can take their idea and their system and they can scale it. And that way they're selling 10 million units of a product and they're able to make more money in a day than a lot of working people make in a 40-year period. The E stands for entrepreneurship. Every black child in America should be trained to be an entrepreneur by the age of 12. We need an army of entrepreneurs. We need 10 million black children that are going to grow up and literally not grow up thinking, how do I get a job? They're also going to be thinking, how do I go create a job? That's going to scale up the success level. That's going to create opportunities and possibilities. We will bang the doors down. They're going to come through. They're going to bang the doors down. They're not going to be begging for opportunities. They're going to be creating opportunities, owning opportunities, giving opportunities to other people, and opportunities will become contagious. One person that wins will bust down the door and open the floodgates for another 50, 60 people behind them because the first thing they're going to think to do is create a job. Why? Well, because they're sturdy children who are already trained on how to develop systems and delegation and processes that allow for the space of other people behind them to also benefit. They're not going to be the Negro with a good job. We're moving past that now. We're going to stage two. Then stage one was the Negro with the good job. That's what made us proud in the 80s. That's not what's going to make us proud in 2040. The R stands for relationships. This is where things like healing come into play. I told you all my wife is a therapist and one of the things that she's educated me on is trauma and what trauma has done to us and how trauma just makes it hard for us to have relationships with each other. Trauma breaks up our families. Trauma causes black men and black women to only be together long enough to have sex and make a baby, but not together long enough to raise the damn baby. Because you got all these trauma responses. You got all these ghetto ass people on the internet telling you, the women don't, the women are terrible and men are bad. And next thing you know, you're going through life and you're like a pinball, just jumping from relationship to relationship, person to person. Do you know how many people I've met on this trip? Let me tell you something about this trip to Egypt. I've met a lot of really good black people here, and a lot of them some of them may be listening. A lot of them are from the very space that you're in. And do you know how many couples I've met that have been married like 25 or 30 years? Seriously, I mean, do you know how many people, like, I met couples, like so many couples. They're like, oh, yeah, I've been with my wife since 1997.